What's up, weirdos? Who up wanting to lower they kids' life expectancy? Apparently a lot of people on social media, there is a trend going around called primal parenting, where parents have decided that the modern world is actually so much worse for their kids. And they want to go back to when things were right, where the most elderly person in your village was 30 years old. The first thing I saw was this little baby named Coop, who of course I have a kinship with. But look at what he's eating. This is his diet. Coop the carnivore, hashtag big Latin women. I don't know, oh, baby-led weaning, okay. She said hashtag baby food. Coop has 2 bottom teeth. So I don't know what the vision is here, but it sounds like she's trying to get him to teeth on soft meat, which isn't what teething is. This is what led me down the rabbit hole, because once you get into carnivore babies, it's a pipeline that leads you right to hell. Okay, look at this guy. His name is Polly Long, and
yo, buddy, you wanna try some steak? Some raw steak, you ready for it? Here. Take a sniff. He touched it.
He touched it. Yeah, my baby doesn't want to eat raw meat at all. Oh my God. No, but I'm gonna force him to. I am gonna make him.
Wanna try a bite?
Little baby started going, I don't want to eat raw meat. But he was just a little baby. How about we wait 6 months and then make him eat balls? Huh?
Today we've got raw bull testicle. This is one of King's favorites. He just eats it himself. I've never forced it on him. I've never made him eat it. I just put it in front of him and he just gobbles it up, man. Loves it. Huge fan of the raw bull testy. Hands down. Safety first.
Safety first, safety first. Now you gotta eat this raw bull ball. Careful, careful, careful with the knife. I am gonna put bacteria and tapeworms in your stomach right now. I didn't force him to eat it, like he literally just wanted it. Brother, you gotta force a baby to do everything that a baby does. Baby don't really do much. Baby kinda sit there like this. And then just wait, unless it's the baby godfather. Please, mommy, no more breast milk. I would much rather have something more fine, like a raw testicle. And look at how he conditions his kid. Like, how you talk to your kid and how you act around your kid, it is modeling and making them understand what is good and what is bad, and they want to like make their parents happy.
I am so proud of you. You are the best. I love you. You're a champion. You can do anything you want in this life.
Yeah, except not eat raw bull testicles. You think if he wasn't eating raw bull testicles, his dad would be giving him like Cheerios? No, he'd be sitting there going, eat it! Oh my God, eat it! Dude, you're gonna make me look so fucking fake on TikTok. Would you just eat the raw meat, please? And it is not just him. There is an entire family on TikTok called the Carnivore Family, and they're a carnivore family. Look at their baby.
We skipped the baby food jars and went straight from milk to meat. Most baby food today, highly processed and minimally nutritious purees and cereals.
Okay, yeah, I'm not trying to say like sugared up cereal's like a great healthy balanced diet for a kid. Obviously, I'm not gonna say that. But we're going from breast milk to meat. Anything else? No. I'll put an egg because that's like half meat. But with that family, it's their entire family. And it like you can see based on the age ranges what it's like to have grown up in that environment and just be like fully inoculated with the carnivore culture. I don't know if you believe this, but it's actually not the best way to have a diet. Because if you were really primal, you would understand something about hunter-gatherer. But that's just like not feeling as cool or counterculture enough. So obviously, well, we're gonna throw out the gatherer shit because like if we want to be real cool on TikTok, we want people to think that we're actually like badass counterculture family. We are going to make them eat pork, steaks, and butter. And that's it. Pork, steaks, and butter. And you can have raw testicles as a treat if you're really gonna beg for it. But Cooper, how do I know that you're telling the truth? How do I know that it's not better to just get my kid full of a bunch of raw meat? Why would I feed baby Coop some grain? Well, this is directly addressed by the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they say point blank, an infant's nutritional needs can't be met through a meat-forward diet. Consuming only animal fat, flesh, eggs, and milk leaves dangerous gaps in a little one's diet. Plant-based foods are necessary for healthy growth and development. Here's why. They go into a lot of why, which is essentially they need fiber. Also, nutrients. Like there's actually nutrients that aren't even in grass. I don't know if y'all remember like elementary school science, but there's something about the sun come out, grass plants grow, it convert, animals eat it, and it's like less and less efficient. There's something about that. Point being, fruits and veggies got potassium, they got magnesium, they got some folate, but especially the fiber, because fiber helps reduce the risk of colorectal cancer and several other cancers through multiple mechanisms. It increases stool bulk. Basically, you got big poop, absorbs a lot of water, you have less cancer. But it's not even the lack of veggies, it's the high amount of protein and fat. Again, the American Academy of Pediatrics says that consuming too much fat and protein can lead to kidney and liver problems, gout, and osteoporosis, among other serious issues. But that doesn't sound counterculture and like cool enough for people who are trying to like reject the modern life because like shit is so fucked up. We should go back to when we were cavemen type diet. Back when there wasn't autism. Okay, back when like most kids died. Okay. Sure, yeah, eating broccoli is totally gonna give your kid autism. Okay, sorry. The next part of primal parenting is something called lotus birth. I had to save this for a second into the video because, oh my God, do not look up lotus birth. There's a lot of content about it online. Essentially, what lotus birth is, your baby's born and then you don't remove the placenta from its like umbilical cord. And of course, you're gonna wanna leave it attached to it, next to it, and then cover it with a bunch of like leaves and stuff. Cause the thing is like, this is vibey. Like at the end of the day, it's all about the vibe. And like, this feels like some shit they were doing back when like there was only like maybe 3% of the population who could read. They're not really thinking about taking care of themselves, but you should be, which is why I'm so grateful that this video is sponsored by ZocDoc. I know I talk about it a lot, but it's like going into production like really soon. So I'm getting into like working out a lot and focusing on like the recovery aspect of it lately. Like I don't want to just wing it. I don't want to have like a little belly in the Spider-Man suit. So I wanted to look into like prescription options that could help with muscle recovery and performance. But I needed to get blood work done first, and I needed somebody who actually like specializes in this stuff. So I'm not just like, but the fact that I know about ZocDoc, it was just like, oh, I'll just go to ZocDoc. The whole process is so much simpler than you would expect. Cause like usually when you go to the doctor, it's like, well, how do I even, okay. But ZocDoc is a free website that helps you find and book high quality in-network doctors for exactly what you need. I could search specifically for doctors who were specializing in the specific things I needed, like for recovery and that. But you also get to read real verified patient reviews in it, and you can see their real availability right there. And you can even find somebody who like does telehealth, because I needed to book somebody with like a video visit, and I could just do that. I did like the consultation from home, then I got my blood work done. It was amazing. What I love about ZocDoc is not just the fact that it's completely free, but like you're booking with over 150,000 in-network doctors across more than 200 different specialties. So whether you need primary care, dermatology, like sports medicine, you can find someone who fits what you're actually looking for. And you can book instantly. No phone calls, no waiting on hold. Most appointments happen within 24 to 72 hours, sometimes even same day. I actually was able to get a same day for this one. So be kind to yourself this year. Go to ZocDoc.com/Film Cooper and instantly book a top-rated in-network doctor today. Links in the description. Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to some people who could do with a little bit more health-minded consciousness. This is a horrific video, but it's like you can watch it, but just knowing what it is, look at this. Oh my God, oh my God, it just like dumps in. Cooper, what's so wrong with that? Why not leave a placenta attached to the baby after it's born, covered a bunch of fennel and rose petals? That's like cute as fuck. I gotta be honest, like off of aura and aesthetic alone, it's cool. Like it's kind of esoteric, kind of like occult, like mystic type. I vibe with it. Oh my God, oh my God. Well, here is a scientific research like case study called Staphylococcus lugdunensis sepsis and endocarditis in a newborn following lotus birth. Which I mean, like obviously all of us know, but if I had to explain what that means, it means a bacteria that's been like alive on human skin found this placenta that began rotting. And the bacteria said, oh my God, I wanna go over to that placenta. And then, oh my God, they're in the placenta and they're like, wait, there's literally a cord going right to the baby. Okay. And then the bacteria, this is not funny, but the bacteria went from the placenta to the baby, and the baby got endocarditis, which is an infection of the baby's heart. But at least it was aesthetic. So when you see a video like this, POV, you're the first one in your family to have a lotus birth. It's a little bit like unbelievably, incredibly irresponsible and putting your own interest in how you are perceived by other people, because it doesn't actually matter. Like she's doing this to post it. All these people are doing it to post it because they want to be seen as that type of person. But they're not putting themselves in danger. They're putting their children's like infant, like literally by definition, newborn babies' lives on the line for what only comes down to an aesthetic that they then use this other like circular logic to justify doing it because they want to be a certain type of person. They want to be seen a certain type of way. But say you have a lotus birth, say your kid doesn't get sepsis, say you want to feed that baby a bunch of raw testicles and it somehow doesn't get a multitude of issues from that, doesn't get colon cancer, then they start growing up a little bit more. What's the next step? Well, obviously if you're a primal parent, you gotta put these little fuckers in the woods. And for me, this is what it really all comes down to, and this is like the best example of what we're talking about here. Like, look, this is something called the wild school, nature school. Let me just play it for a second so you see what I'm talking about.
In Greece, whenever people are sick, doctors and friends tell you to go swim in the sea. In Japan, whenever you're sick, doctors tell you to go take a walk in the forest. In Spain, people and doctors tell you to tomar el sol, Get some sunlight.
Hey pal, I don't think that's not what doctors are saying. You can't just say, in Japan, doctors say like, go walk in the fucking ocean. Oh, you're throwing up, you have a fever, and your hair's falling out, you got a rash spreading over your pubis? Dude, go float in the ocean. Idiot, get out of my office. Oh, doctor, my wrist is really limp, and when I try to move it, it's like intense pain, and then when I move it even more, like my leg starts acting up, so it's like, it's kind of like that situation. Get the fuck out of my office. Go chew up some maple leaves and gargle them with pond water, you idiot. Obviously, that's what you need to do. It's stupid. But also, when I'm looking at this video and when I look at a lot of the content that's about like, ooh, be a wild child and stuff, honestly, I feel like I loved being in the woods growing up. Like, I was growing up, my parents were like, they were attentive, they were watching me shit. But once I was like old enough and I was going with my older brother, I'd be going hog wild in South Downs Creek in Olathe, Kansas. I would be picking up bullfrogs, whittling sticks. I loved it. I loved being in nature. So my take is honestly not, oh my God, a kid in the woods. What if they get a splinter and then they get, like, okay, go, like, have fun. Like, oh my God, don't be trapped in a fucking city your whole life. Like, go enjoy. Literally touch grass. Literally. But that is not the point, because let me show you a couple more videos and see if you can, like, pick up on what I'm picking up on. Let's raise kids who can name more plants and animals than celebrities and brand names. Okay, I mean, okay, cool. That's like Instagram text aura. I mean, I don't know how beneficial it is for kids to not have any connection to the culture or modern time that they're living in. Personally, I know from firsthand experience, when you are hanging out with people and everybody's seen SpongeBob except one person, that person is like a loner. Like, they're left out of the conversation. Oh, you didn't see SpongeBob? Let me go drop some niche references with the real people. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of SpongeBob references because I didn't have cable that much. But that's a really good example of what I'm about to say. Let me show you one more to see if you're picking up on the same thing.
You're going to make your kids tough, which they better be if they're going to survive in the world. You can't interfere when they're doing dangerous things carefully.
Think about it that specifically. Dangerous things carefully.
Yep.
That's such a place where kids learn.
Yo, think about it carefully. Like, I knew a guy back home who thinks so wildly, he'd like get an erection and start rubbing it on a tree. Average Theo Von type conversation. Of course, Jordan Peterson audio sitting there going, let them do dangerous things carefully. Oh my God, let them do it. Let them do it. Because when a kid is careful and they're doing dangerous things, that's humanity. It's real, but what is real? Jordan Peterson's such a fucking okay. That audio, that video, everything about it, the girl just like kind of walking through some sticks. Like, it's not that, she's just walking through sticks. He's put this dramatic ass audio on it, which I believe is the perfect encapsulation of this whole thing, which is regardless of if it's good or not to play in nature, it's these parents projecting an identity onto their kids because they're performing the type of parent they are. That's why they're posting it publicly. That's why they're doing all this. Because with all of this stuff, with the carnivore diet, with the lotus birth, definitely, and with the rewilding, like having kids running around the woods, the beneficiary is not even necessarily the child. With the running around in the woods, it's fun to run around the woods. But the child is like a costume that the parent is wearing to perform the identity of a counterculture, like anti-modern. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm gonna reject that stuff. Look at how I'm raising my kids. It's doing that, especially because they're posting it publicly. There's some families who raise their kids like this and they don't post it on Instagram, but they are talking to the other parents at the local co-op. Like, they are wanting to be seen a certain type of way, and their child is just the prop in order to be that type of parent. They're not trying to be a good parent, because if they were, they would not be doing things that drastically increase the risk for sepsis in your child by leaving a rotten placenta attached to them. That thing blows my mind. And I say, like, none of this stuff is like with judgment to any people, but like genuinely on that, like, do not. Normal parents will take their kids to the park. They'll play with their kids in the woods. They will have a blast with their kids because that is what them and their kids like to do. These types of parents film close-up barefoot shots of their little kid in the fucking creek, and it's not weird because, I don't know, that's weird to me. That's very weird. But the purpose is to be seen as somebody who's rejected modernity. The kids are not choosing to not go to school. They're not choosing to not eat raw bull testicles. They're not choosing to be connected to a placenta that drastically increases their chance at death. For what benefit? Aura? Okay. With the lotus birth, let me just say real quick, because I can already hear some people being like, well, actually, the claim is that the placenta still has nutrients and like blood to transfer to the baby. That's why they leave it attached. And that supposedly it gives the baby a stronger immune system. But if you look at what the people who are trained and dedicated their entire life to doing, which is like saving babies, what they say is that there is no research to support those claims. The only thing that it's like for is a spiritual ritual to honor the shared life between baby and placenta. So do you care enough about doing some fuck-ass ritual that's going to drastically increase your child's chance at death? If the answer is yes, you are putting aura over your baby's life, and you're a fucking idiot. But again, it's not for the kids. Their parents are choosing to do all of this and then pointing a camera at their kid to show the world how cool they are. That kid that is never being taught anything and is being shoved a bunch of nutrients that are actively detrimental to their long-term development and health will have to deal with that that's trauma for the rest of their lives. And it's not just like physical stuff. It's like they're not going to feel comfortable in the same culture like with their peers. They're going to have to be in a very isolated community to have anybody who actually understands them if they want to stay there. It's not like it's adding nature to the kid. It's taking away so many other things when you could just like do what's best for your kid and also take them into the woods. Like I am going into the woods and I'm picking out the coolest stick and I'm whittling it into a sword when I have Coop Jr. I'm not against that at all. But the other thing that is very difficult to ignore is that in a lot of these cases, it's coming from a place of privilege where a family is able to have 10 kids and not actually set them up to succeed in life at all because those children have a safety net with them. And it's like, oh, the parents are like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. That is incredibly selfish to make your kids dependent on you rather than allowing them to thrive and live on their own as an independent like human being, which they are. Where like if a poor family was doing this in like a low income neighborhood, like not sending their kids to school, not getting them like medicine, they would get CPS called. That's different from a family in Bali with a TikTok following feeding their kid raw bull testicle. Like fucking idiot. It's not brave or countercultural. It's just incredibly selfish. This whole thing of primal parenting is not at all what's best for the kid. Even though they are like twisting their mind into saying that it is, what it actually is doing is providing a cool identity for the parent where they feel like the main character and their kids are the props in their life, creating the environment of the dad or the mom who does cool counterculture type shit. I think that's incredibly loser behavior and I had to talk about it. It's like funny, but when you really think about it, kind of evil, especially the Lotus Birth shit, like fight me. It is. There is not a single positive claim for it that can't be debunked or massively outweighed by the risks of death. But what do y'all think? Want to have babies and throw them in the creek with me? No. I love you though. Please subscribe and subscribe to my Coop channel.
Oh, you know because I'm all about a bass, no treble, and I'm all about a bass. I know because I'm all about a bass, no treble. Oh yeah, I'm all about a bass, no treble. What the f is treble? I know what vibrato is. Hugh Jackman. 24601. Wait, no. My name is John Valjean. Okay, there we go.